So hello everyone, Myrmonden here, and welcome to my review of My Hero Academia episode 15 season 2. I found it a really good episode. Just everything from the tension of staring scenes, the little action got. But the action was great though. It forced with Gran Torino versus Deku, and the late action in the end, right? Because you finally see the more enormous, right? The League of the Villain, and of course it's more of Stain motivation, and Stain versus what's his name, like Shigaraki, Tomura, yeah, like Tomura, yeah. I almost got his name pretty much. But yeah, they of course they're very different, right? Because Stain, I don't want to spoil too much here, but the thing with Stain is that he has a goal, right? He actually wants the world to be better, kinda. He's like I'm gonna kill people that are, like bad heroes or serious heroes. And apparently crime rate goes down, he goes, so I guess also kills bad. He's like, I'm gonna go and kill those guys. Afterwards, he's like, I'm gonna go and kill those idiots because they release his enormous. So he actually wants order, I suppose. Where of course, like the League of Villains, these ones like, oh, let's release this normal thing. So let's destroy the world. Let's just fucking go out there and ruin the place, right? Yeah, they just wanna kill everyone. So pretty much that. I mean, obviously they wanna kill All Might primarily, but still, the release the enormous there. That's just like, I guess you tested enormous, obviously, but. It's also just like kind of the chaotic. They don't really care about order and so kind of like making. They do want to rechange society as he said, stay there after the fought. Like okay, we have the same kind of like general like starting thing. We want to like reshape society and so on, but our end goals are completely different, right? Yeah, like we want to have the kind of the starting is right. However, the methods obviously different though. So it's like no, they're not gonna be good friends. Which I like though. I think it's really good to have different kind of and really and bad guys, right? There are different, aspect of what they're doing. So that's great. And also then, talking about the filler thing, I just really loved. I loved Urika. I loved the Bakugo. But the funniest part was definitely Yoshiro. And she has the kind of this pretty snake lady heroine, and she would definitely be someone that Stain would kill, right? She's like, oh yeah, let's make some money from this. But I love the whole thing there as well. Yoshiro is like, yeah. There's something we can learn here. There's something we can learn here. I was like, we're just carrying the luggage. No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna learn something from this woman. I mean, she's like famous hero or something. But actually, those things they are literally in the manga, I believe. Little that Yoshiro. The Bakugo thing, I think, for sure is in the manga at least. But he's getting the genius hairdo. Urika, I don't know. Like Urika, I don't remember that from the manga. Not as. Much at least. So I think that's a good thing you're doing in anime because they do want to have some filler, right? They do want to have a few minutes of filler each episode to kind of pad out the time. They always do that. I think this is really good if they keep doing these things. So they keep adding more on the supportive characters on this arc at all. Like we don't really much kind of see. I mean, I don't know exactly, character bias, blah blah blah, so much we see of them, but it's kind of clear that this arc's about Ida and Deku, right? Get reading Deku, but also Ida and Stain and so on. So as the fight started right this episode. So Urika, he probably won't be in it, right? Bakugo feels like he could appear, but so on. So we cannot see those guys to Rocky was in this episode last week. So we cannot see them having that as some filler thing. I think it's a good idea because I don't remember exactly how it's in the manga and so on, and I haven't compared it to be honest, but just generally, right, the manga has a few panels of those people every now and then. So I think it's a good time for the anime to add a few minutes every now and then on those characters. Because even though it's not actual canon info, or even if it's counted as canon, the info doesn't really matter. It's usually kind of funny, right? It's just kind of we see Urika oh, he's so cute to them, we can't hurt the guy. And we see those girls trying to be are we supposed to be models now? Yeah, and then Bakugo is being, so on. So that's interesting. That's funny, and it just kind of add a little to their character. So I think that's great, actually. Anyway, so talk about the episode, the other parts, the more general parts. The Gran Torino part was really cool. I love, as always, how Deku is the brainy kid, right? He's like, yeah, this is my plan and so on. So it's always going back to the Deku was have no quirks, have to use brains, and we can see right away. And Gran Torino is like, yeah, this kid here is a very, adapted so much in these days and so yeah. So that he sees that this guy he might be good with the quirk, right? He might actually be a good inherit the quirk and so on, and yada yada. So that's great. And then of course later on we see them going to the train. That's a little cliche though, and that's something that my hero does all the time though. However, so I'm just like, I do like it, you don't like it, but my hero does it all the time, right? They're very much like, oh, let's go to Shibuya with this bullet train. Oh, here's the enormous attacked us accidentally when we were on the bullet train. My hero does it a lot, right? It's like, oh yeah, I was out walking. Oh, I suddenly saw the bad guy over here. My hero does it all the time. It does even more than Mega later on. So it's this is just how my hero does it. So this is much like meet evil, sort of meet cute, right? Oh, I'm walking out here. Oh, that's the best bad guy. Yeah, like that happens all the time in my hero, really. So I think it's a little predictable, though, right? They're like, oh, we're going to bullet time. And you see like, the bullet time is going to travel past Hosu. It's like, oh, where's Hosu? Oh shit, bad guy suddenly. Oh, at this moment, like they could have been at the bullet train, right? Like an hour earlier, and they would never have encountered the Nemo, right? They would hear about it later. Oh, the Nemo attacked Hosu. But it's like at that moment, they get bullet really, really quickly. Apparently, the trains are going 400 kilometers per hour. I think they are insanely quick, whatever. This is like the future, so they probably go like 600 kilometers an hour. I mean, this is like 100 years or something in the future, right? They have like ever had superpowers. So, and I mean, the thing is that if they have superpowers, there's a lot of like technology powers as well, like the supportive people. The technology will also grow faster because someone will be like, oh, because of my quirk, I can create transistors. So I can create like, super transistors, and I can mass produce that. So now I've made a computer that's better because of this reason. Like, the technology will go faster, right? It's like actually in Marvel, for example. Like usually, not just Iron Man and so on develops good tech, right? But also people like Force and so on has like mutant power that gives you technology powers. They can usually like develop the technology of the world, right? Because they can actually build new stuff or like take two things that shouldn't yet be managed to combine, and I can fusion with my powers, and here now we have this thing, and then that thing can produce this thing as well. So our technology goes faster also because people have powers that are connected to technology, right? And that will also happen in My Hero, and it seems to happen talking about Uruk can work at gravity and so on, right? Because it covers all physical labor and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know how that fast that train will go in, let's say, 100 years from now in Japan and with powers. So, but let's assume it goes like 600 kilometers per hour or something, at least probably. So yeah, like the minute they are at Hosu in Japan, that's a very short time, right? Because they're going super quickly. Probably will stop there though, but it's Japan, so the people are gonna leave, and then go right. It's gonna be on time, they have very good, schedule and so on. So the time frame they are in Hosu is probably on like 5 minutes something at max, right? It is probably enormously tight situation there to actually run into issues in Hosu when you're passing two different places, right, at the bullet train in the future. So yeah, it's a lot of those, as always I say again in My Hero. That is, I don't say a problem or not, but I mean it definitely is how My Hero does it. It's like, oh, you suddenly were Hosu, oh, you suddenly ran into the bad guys, you suddenly jumped into our train at this moment, exactly at the only minute they had a chance to do it, right? Because obviously the train is, yeah, so it's like, yeah, that was a very, very, very specific timing for that normal guy to fly into the train. But yeah, but it's how the story does it, I suppose. But I mean, I think the more problem is predictable because they do it all the time, and it's like we see the main character mentioning it. Oh, we're going past Hosu. Hope that's okay. And of course, when our horses we get attacked by this bad guy. So it's like, it's a lot of that predictability. It's very, very clear in My Hero. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I like how Gran Torino, it's really bad, like how he just does this like ding, 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 right? And he just pushes that kid out, saving that random hero guy that got attacked. So Gran Torino always looks really badass. And you always picture like how good was Gran Torino when he was young. Because he seems to be enormously good, and of course he's like super old and like super short. And we see in the flashback last week that he was like as tall as All Might when they punched him there. So obviously he was like, whatever. Yeah, he's like half his own size or something now when it's old, and it's a kid and everything like that. Because you get shorter when you get rid older because he has to go down in bones on. That is true. But obviously he's going from like this to like this in height, right? So it's like he's going really down there. But he probably was really, really strong during his prime, right? He still can not beat it normal, but at least injure it and put it away and so on. And of course, as we also learn about the Nomus, they are DNA split people can get sort of quirks. And at that moment, to me, I think it's the cheats David Allman. It's like, oh, that guy? Is he back? It's kind of ridiculous in the way that All Might, not that he's back, but that All Might is so like, could someone do this? When it's kind of like, he seems to be aware that people can do it beforehand, right? Now it's more like, how should I say it? But it's more like he seems to be very aware that someone can do this, have done this pretty much, and he kept mentioning it's like, oh, but who would do that? Or is it my arch enemy? It's kind of like that is your orc enemy kind of guy, whatever, right? That you met earlier in your life or something, and he's like, but no one would ever do that except the burst of them all. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. Like the problem with that, I think, honestly, I think it's actually a pretty bad writing there. I saved the manga. I'm pretty sure that if I had like whatever, you know, okay, I fought this like 100 villains, but and of those 100, I had 3 that were really, really strong and they were really powerful. That is really bad powers, right? I would remember those 3. And if someone mentioned to me, like, oh, this guy, there was the nice bad thing, blah 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 with this thing, I'm like, oh no, that means that guy, number 2, he was doing that stuff. Like, I wouldn't be like, but no one would ever do that. Or maybe. Oh, maybe it's number 2, you know, yeah, I would be right away, oh shit, it's number 2, right? Oh no, it has to be him because that's the only guy that has the powers. Or, you know, oh that's kinda, I fought this guy 10 years ago, because obviously the cop guy is like, yeah, I have to tell you this because I know that you know someone, you know, in your past had these powers or had this, you know, motivation, planning this agenda earlier in your life when you were in your prime. It's like, oh yeah, it's number 2, like it was number 1 or number 5, whatever, right? Of my like top row gallery of enemies. So I think it's a little cheesy because it's a little over dramatic. It's like, no one. Who would do that? So, number this bad guy, yeah. And then when it should be, I honestly think it should be more like right away he should react. Oh shit, it's that guy, right? That should be his reaction. I think not like this very delayed, and thinking about it for a while, like, but that means this thing, and then that guy. It has to be this guy. It's this guy, yeah. It's like, come on. So I think that actually it's pretty bad. It's same in the manga, I'm pretty sure that. Probably shorter in the manga though, because I mean the anime maybe drags out a bit on it. But I think it's the same thing in the manga probably. And I don't like it, I guess. it's totally funny when I watch it, like that is so cheesy, so stupid that it gets funny in a way. But I don't really think it's a good writing thing, narrative-wise, it's not good. It's a little funny as an anime, but narrative-wise it's bad, right? Because he makes All Might look like an idiot. And he's the kind of idiot character, I know, but still, like, that should be in his first brain process to be, oh no, it has to be this guy, he has this power, or this guy, he had that evil plan 10 years ago, and now he's back, I guess, with a new version of that plan. Like, that should be the reaction. Anyway, I just want to talk about that, but it irritates me. Both I saw it, and afterwards, and I laughed at it when I watched it. I was like, it's so stupid. But more because like this is so stupid, it almost gets kind of funny, right? And it's like so cliche that the good guy is like this really unaware of stuff. You know, yeah. So anyway, the last part of course is Stain, which is Ida, and I really like him as a character. He's my favorite villain, and he's really good, I think, because he has the whole team is like, a kid. I don't kill kids, go away. Yeah, it's like I like how he's, you know, always like it's a very moral, it's very lawful evil, right? He has this very clear agenda. That's one thing I would actually say. He's lawful evil, which Tomura is definitely, you know, chaotic evil. He's crazy. He's why he destroys stuff and releases the bomb, so to speak. And he's more like, no, I want to kill these people that are, you know, this thing. I don't kill children and so on. And he's like, I want my revenge. It's like, meh. But I also like how he's like, revenge. Okay, let's do it. He has to have it like, an enemy. He's more like, yeah, I have a lot of enemies. You know, yeah, I like it too because he isn't too shocked. Right? He has like, yeah, I've killed a lot of people, so I have a lot of enemies. Oh, you want revenge? Okay, I have a line of revenge people here. Yeah, it's like, let's do it then. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, revenge. You say, oh yeah, okay, then I scrap your children protection law here. You know, so I love that, and the ending was definitely very high tension here. They didn't start off anything, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, last thing I want to mention for the review is I used to love Gran Torino. They can't believe Gran Torino. It's always like this old Jesus guy. Oh, my takayaka! And he runs like, heart on the ground. That is great. And then see later, like, let's go to Shibuya and fight some bad guys. Like, what? And it's like his cane, like, oh, yeah, we can go over there. And they're like, I don't think it's gonna work out, bro. It's like, you're really old for this, but no. It's no problem. And it's like, how do you get there? A taxi? And it's like, you can't even walk to, you know, yeah, this bullet trip. Yeah, he's too old to, like, you know, use his powers to get there quickly. It's like, no, I have to get to a taxi, then it's bullet train. That's one thing that almost is distant to cities, but like, use the taxi to the bullet train. That's like, he could probably just fly it, right, when he was young. But I was like, oh, we get the taxi, kid, and then we go bullet train. It's like, okay. Oh, I just love that. He goes from this, like, super badass moment, superhero, right, into this like really old guy. It's the same on the train when it's like you stupid kid, don't you using your phone, I'm talking to you. You know, it gets that kind of like, yeah, you're, it's like he hates the new technology, and then suddenly he's super old and weak. Suddenly a Nova rise, he like beats it up, yeah, and it's like, old. Yeah. So he jumps from this like old, annoying user guy into this like really badass fighter back and forth all the time, right? And that is really great. So Gwen Reed is a great character. And the anime definitely makes him better than the manga with voice acting and so on. Yeah, we hear the classic like old Japanese voice actor. It's like, cousin, and they get that. It's great. So anyways, see you next week.